The Bears lost to the Packers on Sunday 35-16, but thanks to the Rams, still managed to hang on to the 7th seed and secure a wildcard spot in the NFL playoffs. Now, I know the mood in Chicago is a somber one. Nobody really cares that we made the playoffs because the reality of this season hit us in the face on Sunday. So I want to focus on the things we did learn after the game to the Packers. Keep in mind, they are the most complete team in the NFC, and through 3 quarters, this was absolutely a ball game. There was a lot to learn from this, both positive and negative. They don't call these games measuring sticks for nothing. My first takeaway from this game is that the defense has not been getting takeaways. Rodgers gave 3 interception chances away in one game, something he rarely does, and the Bears didn't capitalize on any of them. The Bears finished 2020 25th in the NFL in takeaways on defense, so this wasn't just a one-off, it was a trend that emerged throughout the year. Considering they spend the 5th most salary in the NFL on that side of the football, it's fair to say that they have underachieved heading into the playoffs. So what does this mean going forward? What happens on that side of the ball comes down to who the head coach of this football team is next year, and I think there's enough talent there that they could have a bounce back season or even postseason. My second takeaway is that Darnell Mooney is the real deal. He had 11 catches for 93 yards, and he just passes the eye test. He has speed to get around the edge of defenders, and if you can just get him the ball in space, he is dangerous. He showed toughness, showed his ability to go up and get it on this nasty deep ball, and I think the Bears found a real wide receiver in Mooney going forward. My third takeaway is that the Bears have also found a real running back in David Montgomery. While the rest of the Bears offense from 4 weeks prior to the Packers game proved to be a mirage, David Montgomery was not. He can get the tough yards, and he just fits the mold of a Chicago Bears running back. With Tariq Cohen coming back next year, there's a reason to be excited about the Chicago Bears running game going into next season. My final and biggest takeaway from this game, and really this entire season, is that, in my opinion, unless we see a turnaround in this postseason, Mitch Trubisky is not the franchise QB of the Chicago Bears. Now, before I go any further, I know a lot of Chicago fans are probably yelling at their screens right now saying, what is this guy talking about? Mitch completed a high percentage of his passes, and he played great until they were behind. Look at his numbers. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, Mitch looked about as good as Mitch can look. That's my point. It still isn't good enough to compete with the Packers in the NFC, and Nagy and Lazor had to entirely restructure the offense to simplify it for Trubisky. You can argue that's something Nagy should have been doing from the start, but I think Nagy has recognized all along that even playing to Trubisky's strengths, this offense isn't good enough to compete in the playoffs. That's why he was so stubborn to change the offense. That's why the Bears tried to bring in a cheap alternative at QB and Foles, and that's ultimately the difference between the Bears and other great franchises. The Bears don't have the guy at QB, other teams do. They just played against the best team in the NFC, played ball control offense to the tune of a 2-to-1 time of possession advantage going into the 4th quarter, ran the ball effectively, completed a high percentage of passes, and still only came up with 16 points. In my opinion, this was the ceiling. We just saw it, and it wasn't good enough. Now, could the Bears win in the playoffs? Yeah. They went into overtime against the Saints earlier in the year, and I think the Bears are playing better than they were then. Could they continue to improve, much like they have over the season, to a point where they could win more than one playoff game? Maybe, I don't know. But it all comes down to Trubisky, I know that. I really hope I'm wrong, because I'm a Bears fan who wants to see them succeed. But from what I've seen, Trubisky has the guts, athleticism, attitude, but he doesn't have the processing ability to win you games from inside the pocket or by reading the defense. I think that's the difference between a QB that can win you games in the regular season versus one that can win you games in the postseason. Either way, I'm really excited to see what this Bears team can do in the playoffs. And even if not, I think there are enough young, talented pieces on both sides of the ball to be excited as a Bears fan moving forward. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this type of content. Like and subscribe down below. And if you want to really support what I do, you can donate at the Streamlabs link I have posted below. Let me know how far you think the Bears can go in the playoffs in the comments, and tell me if you think the Bears have a bright future or if they're in store for some trouble. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.